Welcome, Maha Sangha. So good to be with all of you today. I'm Suzanne Kilkus here from Open Doors and Community in Madison, Wisconsin. And we'll begin today with a sit, of course, as we always do. Sitting together these days, I think, is such a precious and such a really important thing to do. So let's begin our sit, 12 to 13 minutes or so. And more people may be coming in. It's fun to watch people come in as we begin our whole meeting here today. I don't know if you can hear the sound of the bell reverberating, but I'm here doing this, and it's lovely to follow the bell all the way to the end, followed by our reciting the verse of the robe. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. So, it's always good to begin with gratefulness. So I'm beginning with gratefulness to all of our ancestors as we call them in to be with us today, to our teachers, Flint and Peg, and to all the teachers in the Appamada Network community, to the land and its ancient people on which we live, and to all the care that's been given to us so we can be here today. We offer practice for all beings everywhere. May all be relieved of suffering, free from fear, longing, aversion, and ignorance as we travel together on the awakening path. So today, I want to talk about the journeys of our lives over time and daily, and what assistance we have along the way and how we use it for the benefit of all. I thought about this because I remembered that 25 years ago this summer, my husband, Steve, and I left our home in Minnesota, sold most everything we owned, and took, and took to the road in a little pop-up camper and our trusty minivan. Our youngest daughter called this the time Mom and Dad ran away from home, even though our children all had been launched and they were on their own. We had spent the prior year getting ourselves ready for this. We closed our jobs consciously, giving plenty of time to say goodbye to our community after 20 plus years. This was where we raised our family. We fielded many questions about the wisdom of doing this, and feelings of sadness, even anger for leaving or ending relationships. As a psychotherapist, closing my relationships with clients with plenty of space for all the feelings and thoughts that arose was really important. For 3 months, we traveled the western part of our country, spent a week in Fiji with our teachers and friends, and asked ourselves, what's next? Where is next? And how do we do this? We were in our mid-50s, so this was not a typical thing midlife people did. We meditated in campgrounds, practiced yoga under tree canopies, visited family and friends along the way, always keeping the questions before us. As we traveled across the landscape of our country, and it revealing itself to me and to us, our inner landscapes were also revealing themselves, and answers to our questions came to us. I'm giving you these details for the elements present in all the journeys we take, extended and daily. There is preparation involving identifying intentions, choices, and making aligned decisions, then taking the actions, learning from the actions, hopefully, integrating the learning, embodying the experiences, making continuing decisions, and all that involves creating life out of what unfolds. Through this all, we need guidance to hold ourselves to our intentions and to be able to see all the assistance there is for us. Excuse me. I talk about this frequently here. It's easy to forget about all the help we have when mired in losses and sorrows and hurts and judgments, whether they're personal or community or national or global. At least this is true for me, and it's what I'm hearing from people around me and the never-ending news cycle. I think we can all identify with that. So I want to focus on our daily life. I want to use the metaphor of journey, as our daily journey has all the elements of the bigger journeys, as I described earlier. My focus here will be primarily on preparation, on the question, how to best take myself into my daily journey. There are 5 aspirations I've been using that I find so helpful in grounding me and opening to what unfolds. They attend to the question of how to live our lives, which is what this inquiry process is always all about, in some way or another, isn't it? Here they are. I'll list them and then go through each of them with some comments. I received them in the spirit of Zen mind, beginner's mind, and offer them to you in the same spirit. The 5 aspirations I practice each day. I am grateful for this new day. I accept and embrace impermanence. I cultivate compassion for myself and others. I walk the path of wisdom. And I am at peace with myself and life. So, the first one, I'm grateful for this new day. When we lead with gratitude, we set up the path of our day with a mindset of accepting who, what, and where we are. I notice that just saying it, I have to check to make sure it is true, or that I'm willing for it to be true. When I check in like that, the cobwebs of morning dullness clear away and give me space to name what I could be grateful for, even for what has been challenging and unwanted. I heard Jane Hirschfield in an interview, she's a wonderful poet, describe her years at Tassajara as a practice in appreciating what she didn't want or was challenged by, such as cold showers or cold water for showers, or her minimally heated hermitage in the winter. She called it wanting the unwanted. In order to even approach this, I think we need to spend time with what that means. I don't think it has anything to do with desire, wanting something out of desire, because what she talked about seemed like rather pretty unpleasant sort of things if it was based on desire. But rather facing what we are given in the spirit of appreciation, being sensitively aware of what is before us, and settling our heart on it. For me, opening each day with this statement of gratitude, it's brought up the question of being in a spirit of gratefulness to being alone in my home now, being without my partner in body. Can I really be grateful for this? I'm remembering an interview I heard with Stephen Colbert. Here in the United States, he's a very well-known late night TV show host, but he's an actor and he has a really wonderful sense of commentary. His father and 2 older brothers died in a plane crash when he was 15 years old. And he's been known to say he's grateful for everything in his life, even that. And when he was questioned about it, he said he's come to know that being grateful for life is just a good idea, but you can't parse out the things you don't like or were uncomfortable. It's really important to hold it all in gratefulness. I've taken those ideas or that sense about it, and I've asked, how can gratefulness arise with my life partner being gone? I ask this, and I let my life answer it for me. I recall Suzuki Roshi's response to a question about how to face difficulties. He said, "Thank you very much, I have no complaints." Now, it's not that there aren't deep hurts or great difficulties or great injustices. There are, and we all know it. It's that we can generate a mind that can respond with a warm, open-hearted, wholehearted approach. Of course, this takes practice, and it takes each other for support. The next aspiration I accept and embrace impermanence. On one level, of course, it seems easy to recognize all the changes around us, time, seasons, nature. Just make it also evident. But I also think this brings up our attachment to control when we sincerely accept and embrace impermanence. A beloved family member has a practice of greeting his day with affirmations and aspirations. The second one, he says, has to do with accepting what life will bring to him that day. He notices a grip of resistance in his body, in his gut, as he says this, not sure he really wants to agree with it. I can empathize with him. Maybe another way of accepting and embracing is that I am willing not to be in control of my life while being in charge of my choices and responses. When facing what is changing beyond our control, I think we automatically experience resistance. It's in our nervous system, it's in our biology. When something contrary to every value we hold is happening, our resistance is not the problem. That's natural. This is what we get to work with, we turn toward, we love in ourselves, and that brings us to the next aspirations. I cultivate compassion for myself and others, and I walk the path of wisdom. We know that compassion is a state of being with the experience we are having, feelings, thoughts, circumstances, and not in it, with the experience and not in it, attached to it. With ourselves, it's nothing. It's noticing what is present and letting it be as it is. Again, that might sound simple. It's not. We all know this. The same with another, free of trying to fix or change, even in the face of injustice. Doesn't mean that we won't take action toward it, but that kind of action needs a space of compassion first. Alone, compassion can be misguided. It can lead to unwholesome action, overlooking potential risks. The Dalai Lama calls it idiot compassion. This is where wisdom is needed. Wisdom is knowledge and understanding. It's knowing what's going on, seeing it clearly, understanding the circumstances. But without compassion, it can become arrogant and self-centered, devoid of empathy. When we bring them together, they ground responses in wholehearted action. I'd like to show you a simple practice that embodies these aspirations. I'm going to invite you to join me in them when I show them to you, and then we're going to try them out. So we put our left hand out and we let it represent compassion. So go ahead and do that, and maybe wiggle your fingers a bit, open and close them, and let that represent compassion. Then put your right hand out forward and let that represent wisdom. Go ahead and wiggle that a bit. Breathe into it. Open your hand. And now cross your hands over at your wrists. Turn your palms toward each other. Clasp them together and bring them into your heart area. Get a feel for this. Compassion and wisdom coming together at your heart. Go ahead and unclasp. And now let's practice it with something specific. Bring to mind something in yourself or someone else or something in general that needs compassion. It might be a criticism, a judgment, a deep sorrow, an injustice. Putting your left hand out, representing compassion. Again, if you need to wiggle it, feel it, get the sense of this. Breathe for a moment with it. And now consider what you know about yourself, the other person, or the situation, and put your right hand out. Wiggle it a bit, move it, get the sensation of it. What do you know? What trouble are they in? What pattern does this bring up for you? And now cross your hands over at the wrist, turn your palms toward each other, clasp them together, and bring them to your heart. Breathe with this for a bit. This is cultivating compassion and walking the path of wisdom. You might have to do it a number of times, maybe many times, depending on the circumstance. That's okay. And go ahead and unclasp. This takes us to the last aspiration. I am at peace with myself and life. The inner critic part of us may be in the manager section of our life business, but it doesn't produce peace that passes all understanding, as the line in the New Testament says. The peace needed here is the acknowledgement of the whole of our life, past, present, and what's to come. As I've been contemplating my new life these last months, and waves of memories move through my body, I sometimes feel gripped by what was. I know this is part of the grief experience, but recently it's come clear to me that who and what I was is no longer here, doesn't exist. Who I was is gone. The poet, David White, encourages the awareness that no one is interested in saving who I was. That seems rather harsh, at least it did when I heard it. But unless I am at peace with this truth, I cannot be fully in my present circumstances, as uncomfortable as it is sometimes. Actually, many times. Last week, Flint talked with us about practicing through our comfort zones. He said he recognized that his comfort zone could kill him, given what happened to him the weekend before. I gave that a lot of thought and realized that my comfort zone diminishes me, contracts me, strangles me, and cuts me off at the knees some days. And it's not a particularly comfortable or peaceful comfort zone, but it's familiar. And it doesn't require spending much precious energy, as comfort zones are the automatic pilot setting of our nervous system, doing what is familiar, usually habitual and conditioned. If I'm willing to be at peace in my life, I need to face both the 10,000 sorrows and the 10,000 joys. Lately, the joys don't readily come up, and so I need to pay attention to them. Ross Gay, the writer, a wonderful book of his, The Book of Delights and Inciting Joy, also a poet and a teacher, points us to the importance of noticing the delights of life. Krista Tippett of the On Being Project has been doing a series on hope in dark times recently. This week's focus is on his work and lens. This is what she says about him. He brings another way of wisdom to the conviction that we have to know what we love and what delights us, and that we have to attend to that as fiercely as to what is broken and what we're called to make better, what we're called to make more just. Knowing what we love and knowing how to take delight are fuel even, and especially in times of great challenge. This is something we can practice moment to moment, he teaches, through our ordinary everyday life. Krista asks, can you feel how attending to delight as seriously as hardship nourishes a reality-bending imagination and passion for justice and hope that is as joyful as it is fierce? Maybe we can use the hand practice for being peace as well. Left hand, 10,000 joys. Wiggling it a bit, feeling it. Right hand, 10,000 sorrows. Wiggling it a bit, feeling it. Breathing with it. Crossing hands over and bringing them into your heart, breathing into peace with it. Again, I think this takes a lot of practice. But I'm finding that it's better to practice this than anything else. Our newly entrusted teacher, Kim Nashel, said on Tuesday night in a talk, wonderful talk she gave, that earlier in the day she was feeling a lot of difficulty and struggle, and she didn't know what to do with it. So she did one of these practices. And after a while, what she noticed that none of the difficulties changed, but she felt different. And that's what matters. Because in that new space, that's where we can take action, make our choices, extend our love out into the world. So I think I've given us something to consider, or maybe it's felt like a bit too much. I'm wondering what your practices are that bring you into the journey of your day and your life. So please come forward with your offering, or anything else that is up for you. Thank you. Hello, Joel.
Hi, Suzanne. Thank you so much for this talk and for these exercises of joining things that seem like opposites, things that seem like complements, and offering a way to embody that. That's what it was a beautiful thing. Up until a point when I fell on my head and had to stop, I used to practice Aikido, and this was one of the warm-up exercises we would do just to cover up our wrists and elbows. And so I actually figured out how to do it based on your instruction.
Mm,
I want to say that I have been, I don't know if this will work. Yes, it's working. So I just got this book in the mail. A Sangha member was talking about it recently, and making vows or repeating gathas to remember the importance of everyday activities. And the advice from Thich Nhat Hanh at the beginning of the book is to just choose a couple and embrace those. There's a particular one at the beginning that Robert Aiken writes, that seeing the sunrise, seeing a new morning, he vows to open the flawless eyes that saw the morning star, essentially to become the Buddha in that awakening moment. And that's really touched me to be able to. And
I love the poetry of that, Joel.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, flawless eyes, as if they were available to me, which as they might be,
Yes.
if I experiment with it.
Thank you for saying that you learned this in Aikido. I learned
Hmm.
this in Qigong.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Hello, Mary Beth.
I lost you.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mary Beth. Yes.
It's such a fascinating topic because I recognize for myself the need for daily practices. And for the longest time, it was sitting as a daily practice. And now it's sort of morphed into understanding the importance of daily practices, but not really locking into anything that is supporting a transition in my life. So I want to thank you for the topic because it just feels like it's so present for me. And I appreciate the 5 aspirations so much. And you sharing that with us. I mean, one of my questions is like, how do you do that? Do you wake up and do you do it at a certain time every morning? Is it something you remind yourself about all day? Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, how do we do this? And it can vary depending on how we wake ourselves up, move ourselves into our day. How I do it this summer, I've been able to go for a very early morning walk. And so as I start my walk, that very first one, thank you for this new day, it now comes up spontaneously. And that kind of moves things, starts things moving, as in, oh, that's why I said I had to pause and say, is it true? Is it true that I'm grateful for this new day? Because, sometimes we move up and we wake up and we feel kind of dull, at least I do. I'm not quite, I got to get with the program kind of thing. Some people I know get up, swing their legs over their bed and immediately do this. My loved one, my brother, who I spoke of earlier, that's what he does. Swings his legs out over his bed and he says, "Good morning. I'm so glad to be here." And what I'll accept whatever the day brings. And then he goes, no. And then he has to work himself through that. And so I've found myself just letting the encouragement I received to teach me how to do this. And then it became my own. Actually, a couple Sundays ago, when it was the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday, I gave a talk at our Sangha on the Dalai Lama. And when I learned that one of the things that the Dalai Lama does every morning, and he's been doing it all his life, is reciting the vows that Shantideva in the 12th century wrote. He recites them every morning. And I thought, oh, if the Dalai Lama recites vows every morning like this, of course, I could begin that practice. And it's not like I didn't prior to that, but with these 5 aspirations, I landed on something that had a lot of meaning to me in this part of my life right now. Does that respond to your question?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm trying to balance the word aspiration with I have to do this every morning. And so that was so beautiful that you said it was an aspiration. I mean, I recognize that my spiritual practice is what holds me up daily. And I'm trying to define what it is that I do. I know I read a little bit every morning. That feels very nourishing. I sit. I don't necessarily sit with people. And sometimes I think it would be more nourishing. I'm still trying to think through that one and feel my way into that one. And, with my mother being 100 and me being her caretaker, I look around me at my siblings and I think, I even said to them, I have to do my spiritual practices daily to manage my anxiety of caring.
Yes.
Right. It's like, yeah, it's just so important. And I'm grateful for the word aspiration because it's sort of shifted in my mind a new way of looking at how to support myself and nourish myself daily spiritually to be present for others. So it's so meaningful and timely for me. So thank you for the
You're very
lesson.
welcome. You're very welcome, Mary Beth. And what Joel said about picking 1 or 2, that's practice right there. It's so important. And when we do it in the morning, I find that it sets up our day so that for example, when I get into a tussle with something, automatically something arises as, am I not being grateful for this? Or am I resisting the impermanence of this? It sets us up for being the guide, being there for us, whatever we need.
Thank you. And thank you
Yeah.
all for being here. It's good to be with you all.
Take care, Mary Beth.
Thank you.
Hello, Pam.
Hi, Suzanne.
So good to see you. Oh, I'm not hearing you, Pam.
Okay.
There you
I
go.
keep getting little pop-ups that come up. I love that this is practical. And so I've been looking at what to do in my mornings because I need to change my lack of routine into something that's somewhat flexible. And this sounds really nice. And it sounds like it's something that would go into my days as well. So I can do it in the morning. I can do it anytime. And I loved the practice, the physical practice that you did with bringing the 2 complementary things together, or things that that may seem in opposition. One of the things that I've been working with this week is Tonglen. It's a practice that I learned 25 years ago from someone else who I respect greatly. And those things that bring it together in a physical way like that, to me, they stay. And then I have those, whether I'm doing it in the morning or whatever, they're just available to me. And it's a good way to settle into it when you did the one, I believe it was compassion and wisdom. What a great way to look at both of them, feel into both of them, and feel how they come together and may conflict sometimes. And it just seems like such a wonderful way to bring them together and to move through challenging times. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for saying that, Pam. Um, it's based, this body practice, it's based on the principle that the body always remembers. So doing it once, it'll land, but maybe momentarily. But continuing it as a practice, like sitting is, going for a morning walk, doing whatever affirmations we want to help guide our day, sitting, whatever practice we have, yoga, tai chi, qigong, whatever we decide to do. That's what our body begins to remember. So that when what is conditioned in our nervous system comes up, we can go, oh, wait a minute, I got this. Oh, okay. Or anything else. That's been really useful for us. So thank you so much for what you've said.
Oops.
You're there. Hello,
Okay.
Rosemary.
I just lost the video for a second. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Yes, and you. So for me, my daily practice is, well, I am one of those who flings my legs over the bed, and I have one of Thich Nhat Hanh's, which is waking up this morning, I smile. I have 24 hours to live. I vow to live them deeply and to learn to see everyone and everything through the eyes of compassion. So that, that is simple and, moves me forward. And then there's sitting, my zazen. The other piece of practices, for example, journaling, which prior to my practice, I seem to have more time for other things. And so my journal is not as daily as it had been. So self-acceptance with practices is such a huge thing for me. It's just not going to be everything that I would like it to be, and time is a big factor. So I'm working with that all the time. It's fine. There's nothing wrong. So I just wanted to add that to what happens sometimes when we want to be, practicing with something more than we have been, something like that. So I just add that.
Thank you for saying that, Rosemary. It's such a good reminder because we're so gifted with so many resources now for practice that we can consider what feels right for me today. What's my foundational practice, and what's on the trellis? This is my image. What's on my trellis that I need to draw from today? It's not going to be everything. You are right about that. But when it's one or two things, that's going to make a difference. And it keeps our creative energy moving, keeps it going in terms of what's right for me today. Asking them.
And also maybe what we can let go of today.
Oh, excellent. What we can let go of today. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
See you.
Hello, Mike and Sue. So good to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Suzanne, it's always so wonderful to hear you. And I mean, yes, you are so practical. I can take in what you're saying from one human to another human. Having having human experiences that are sometimes very challenging. I love the word cultivate. I'm a gardener, and one of the first things I do when I wake up, and Mike can attest to that, after we sit, is I go out to my garden and I just walk around. I walk around and I see different things each time. And so that word cultivate, I have to do it from time to time in my garden. I have to cultivate to keep things fresh. But after I do that, it does itself. So what is flourishing today might not be tomorrow. So I take in what I see. And I feel a huge sense of peace when I do that. I can think about things that I'm going to do that day while I'm walking through the garden. And you know what comes up for me when you were talking about those aspirations, although I think I'm going to put them down on paper and look at them, because practicing something different takes time to practice. So I'm going to be grateful for that. And gratitude. I have 2 different groups of gratitude groups that I don't always get to do my gratitudes in writing to them, but I can read theirs and it opens my heart. So I have that practice as well. But I'm just so grateful to have you in my life and our lives. Because every time I see you on the screen, my heart just bursts.
Amen.
Yeah, wake up, wake up. Don't waste this precious life. That's what you remind me every time you speak.
Thank you so much, Sue. I can just picture you going out to your garden.
I'll send you some pictures.
That'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful. Maybe what I will offer us here before we close with practice principles is the Dalai Lama's morning vows. May I be a bridge, a boat, a raft to help all across the flood. May I be a balm for all those grieving life's losses. May I be food to feed the hungry. May I be medicine for the sick. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be a lamp to light the darkness. And may I go on as long as sun and moon and galaxies exist until all beings are enlightened together. Let's close with the practice principles. Actually, let's close with the refuges. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. We take refuge in Buddha before all being, immersing body and mind deeply in the way, awakening true mind. We take refuge in Dharma, entering before all being, entering deeply the merciful ocean of Buddha's way. We take refuge in Sangha, before all being, bringing harmony to everyone free from hindrance. Now all being has completely taken refuge in Buddha. Now all being has completely taken refuge in Dharma. Now all being has completely taken refuge in Sangha. Have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone, wherever you are, morning, afternoon, evening, and I'll turn it back over to Nellie. Thank you so much today, Nellie, for your wonderful monitoring. I'll give you my Midwest wave, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Suzanne, for offering the Dharma in such a beautiful way. And thank you all for your presence and wholehearted practice. Appamada's programs and facilities are supported through your generosity, and your support makes a huge difference. There is a link for contributions on the website. Thank you so much. And if you would like to continue to meet, share, and simply connect, please just stay where you are, pop yourself into gallery view, and join other participants and myself for a further 30 minutes on the online porch. Thank you.